Howdy, mateys! Welcome back to another episode of Klepto Stash. Well, this will be a different episode. I want to talk about a new experience that I've had recently, very recently. That experience is called Fedora. Now, I've never, ever used Fedora. I used Red Hat, not Red Hat Enterprise Linux, but old school Red Hat from around 1999 to 2001, I believe, or more than that. That was way back in the days. Good old GNOME 2 and KDE 3.5. So, things have changed. Now, I've heard of Fedora, but I've never used Fedora. I've used Arch, I've used OpenSUSE, both of which I love. OpenSUSE is a favorite of mine. Things are changing as I speak, but never used Fedora. And so I heard so much about Fedora and Red Hat, doing a lot of innovating, doing a lot of coding and developing, and a lot of work, good work for the Linux community, but I never used it. And I heard all this talk about, it's kind of I guess you could say kind of glitchy and every other iteration is sort of half baked and whatnot, and so really kind of scared me off. Really, the Linux Action Show for years just tore down Fedora every time a new version came out, and so hey, I heard that so much. I heard that in a lot of writing on with Linux bloggers. I just ignored Fedora completely. Things have changed. So, as I'm currently being irritated by OpenSUSE and tumbleweed breakage, tumbleweed packages breaking, like Cinnamon, doesn't even start up, and just things that are bothering me, I tried out Fedora. Fedora, of course, is a bleeding edge distribution. Gives you a very new kernel-ish, let's see. Yeah, newish. Yeah, cool, good. Like I said, bleeding edge, and so your packages are going to be bleeding edge, and that's good for me. I mean, I was an Arch user, still an Arch user to some degree, so I can handle that. That's well within my wheelhouse, my purview. So I tried it out. And I'm trying out Fedora 22, which has the new DMF. Do not fix, as some say. But I really like Fedora. I especially like DNF, Identified Yum. There are some things in there that I've wanted from a lot of different package managers, such as this. Long password. You see that? It just gave me a list of everything I've installed, removed, etc., etc. And so you can see here, I installed a simple screen recorder, which is what I'm using right now. I used Fedi, installed Fedi. I installed Chromium, AutoKey, GTK. I need that. I need my Cinnamon desktop. Now, another thing you can do is say, let's see, what happened? What's going on with this right here? What's that? Whoops, did I do that wrong? Oh, info. Excuse me. Thank you. Now I understand what number 9 was in that list up here. What the hell's that going on there? So it tells you the packages that were altered or installed, and you installed Fedi Core, Fedi plugins. So it lets you know. Let's see what happened with this one. It tells you everything, all the information that you really need, just in case you have some breakage. God forbid. It tells you what has been upgraded, what's been installed. It keeps that as a log. Another great thing, let's say you got another machine you want to install Fedora on, what packages did I install? DNF history user installed. How about I add sudo to that? Make sure that works. You see this? AutoKey GDK, Bisu, Chromium, Chromium Pepper Flash, Chromium, Cinnamon, Screensaver, Unsupported, Clementine, CopyQ, Dupli, Fianza, Fetty, SSHFS, Roboto fonts. I love my Roboto fonts. Just MPV. I need my Nano. I need NetHogs. I need all this stuff. I need Tilda, which is what I'm using right now. I need WeChat. Switch over here. I'm using WeChat. Over here on the Linux distro community chat room. Let's see here. Now, so I can take that and I can output that to a file. And I can just put that file someplace. And then I can go in and install everything that I've installed previously and have everything up and running fairly quickly. And which I did do on another machine. And so I haven't had any real issues with Fedora. I haven't had any breakages as of yet. Another cool thing about Fedora, which is it's something that's been out for a minute, but I didn't realize what it was. I guess you could say it's kind of a take on the OpenSUSE's open build service, but I guess you could see a little more simpler, a little more compact. Still somewhat rough. Fedora doesn't have the kind of package availability that OpenSUSE or Arch has in their AUR, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's a work in progress, and I can understand that. That's cool. Hey, I like progress. So, what is Copper or Copper? Let's just say Copper. Copper is designed to be a lightweight build system that allows contributors to create packages, put them in repositories, and make it easy for users to install the packages onto their systems. Now here's what's cool. DMF, which I was speaking of earlier, has a plugin that allows you to install Copper packages and adding their repos through DNF. DNF Copper Search SSR. How about I add sudo onto that? Now, I believe this is the one I installed right here. And you can get more information on that and see what the versions are and all that. So, Copper, going back to Copper, this is it right here. So if I want Chromium, there it is right there. It does give you the command right here, DNF Copper enable the name of the repo, and then it refreshes that repo, adds it, then refreshes it. Excuse me, back that, reverse it, and then you install it. And so you can imagine that the Copper and DNF coming along in the next couple of years should be pretty friggin' awesome, and possibly maybe in the next 5 years could be a real contender to the OpenSUSE build service, which I love. I just have a few problems with OpenSUSE right now. It's still my favorite distro, but Fedora is pretty damn awesome, and it just does some things that just work for me. Now, I haven't had any problems finding my favorite packages yet. I think I've installed all my favorites, and so I did have to enable a couple extra repos to do that, but who cares, really? As long as you get your favorite packages on your system, that's all that counts. So I'm really digging Fedora. I'm really digging especially DNF, and I'm kind of digging Copper. All in all, you're getting the latest packages from a bleeding edge distribution. You're getting the latest packages, and so they're going to be up to date like Arch. But you're getting an RPM distro, and so with RPMs, you should say that RPMs used to have dependency hell. Things have changed. Is not as bad as it used to be. Still, you have some sort of difficulties if you're just looking for an RPM in general, and dependencies crop up on you. but it's not as bad as it used to be way back in the days. So this is really awesome. Now the installer, and you can go and look for Fedora 22 and installer reviews. There's a ton of those. People do that. Um, but the installer is sort of different from the norm of installers that you see, like Ubuntu, or whether it's Antigros or something else. It's a little different. And so when I first set it up, of course it gave me a ext4 file system. Um, but with a kind of twist, it kind of gave me um, LVM along with it. I didn't want LVM, and so I had to go back and reinstall and do it myself. And that way, I just got just vanilla, ext4. So that's just a little thing there. And I think there's been a couple issues with the sort of Wayland backend deal with GDM. So other than that, I've had few issues at all really, except for the whole LVM thing. I didn't really need that. So I'm really liking this. I'm gonna keep this on my system and run it. And you should guys check it out too, man. Fedora has really come a long ways. I can't really say that myself because this is the first time I installed it, but I've kept my eye on it for a few years now. Just never installed it because all the bad talk I've heard. And honestly, I think people should give distributions more of a chance. I think that there's so much out there as far as Linux goes and distributions wise that that you can find one that really suits and to your liking and to your taste and to your preferences. And so go for it. Try some stuff out. If it breaks, move on or go back to it or see if you can fix that problem or do what you want to do. But it has been about time for me to install Fedora, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it so much that I may have to push off OpenSUSE to the back burner. I have it installed in a crap bunch of my systems and mini PCs, and so Fedora, man, Fedora is just, in my humble opinion, better than Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed just has a lot of problems, just a lot of problems. You don't want to go down that road. It's just I've been there, done that so many times, and it's just pain and heartache and tears. So go try Fedora 22. Go try one of their remixes, their spins, or whatever have you. Well, they have different spins. I think they have a mate spin. I have to try that out sometime. But it's been fun, and I'll be using this. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. So, see you next time.